The point of Club 13, from my perspective, I've been a rugby league fan for years. I've had my own business for 17 years. I've met lots of great people. I go to a business club events, and I'm normally the insolvency practitioner. Nobody wants to use me. Nobody really wants to understand what we do, because it's generally from their perspective a sign that they're going to lose their business, or one of their clients is going to go bust. But after we get that out of the way, we generally talk about sport anyway. And what's good from my perspective is that the theme of this business club is about sport. It is called Club 13, and what would be a real challenge is for this business club to effectively become a team. It'll have some very specific objectives. We'll touch on some of those today, and we're going to run a series of events right through the year. And to make it really easy, they will be on the 13th of every month, including Fridays. There's no plans for weekend at this stage. I've been to lots of business clubs and networking events through my life. They're not for me. I mean, don't get me wrong. Talking to a printing company or an estate agent at 6:30 in the morning about Brexit over sausage butter is as enlightening as that is. I don't normally get an awful lot out of that. So what we're looking to do here is make it enjoyable, and also we're here for a number of reasons. One of which is that we want to do business with each other. I've been speaking to a few people recently that maybe they would choose their accountants or invoice finance firm or photocopying company if, for example, the supplier was a Salford fan. So I'm trying now to make sure that anybody I use from a professional perspective has some allegiances to the club. Look at some of our panellists, for example. If you're interested in anybody to host an event, obviously Robbie's showcasing his own talents today. If anybody's get interest in, for example, locally brewed beer, Nathan McAvoy's will talk about Seven Brothers. I know there's a number of accountants in the room who do have clients that have got pubs and brewery, and that's what we want to do. We want everyone to understand what each other can offer. There's lots of different skills and services in the room, and from my perspective, it's making sure that we don't just meet each other once and exchange business cards, but we'll be working very hard to make sure that we try to generate business for everybody in the room. And I've done a number of events of my own. We don't engage in social media. I've never been interviewed by Sky before. I presented on a liquidation seminar before. I'm learning a lot about social media, new ways of advertising, and we've got some great people involved that have organised the event. Jo, for example, sat at the front. She's organised everything. I've only met Jo because she's a Salford fan, but has organised everything. Adrian, he's got a CV as long as both of my arms. He's been involved with numerous sports sponsorship businesses. He's the official Turkish representative for Barcelona Football Club as well, just to throw that in. And again, I didn't know Adrian until I got involved with Salford, and our networks are absolutely merged. We know so many people, and we're now getting business with each other as a result of that relationship. And there's lots of people in this room that have got an interest in sport, or their family and friends have got an interest in sport. We're now a community-owned club. I've had to learn a lot in the last 6 weeks about re-engaging with the community, fan experience, why business are motivated to get involved in a club, how community clubs are funded, how they struggle to get pots of funding. Now, I didn't know all that 6 weeks ago, and what I'm looking to do is use all the experience that I built up to develop me personally as an individual. That's great for my company. I've also got more relationships now with people that I didn't know at all. They're a little bit more interested because of the range of things that we're getting involved with. Another crucial thing as well is that I want to learn from the professional athletes that we've got on the pitch. If you look at some of the traits that professional sportsmen have got, certainly rugby league players, to win a game, they've got They're all well prepared. They're constantly at peak fitness, high levels of concentration. I was going to say discipline, but that might, I think with Adrian maybe touching on that later. They're ultra competitive and they're very focused. It's quite ironic I'm talking about focus, given that I've got a day job in Bolton and somebody else is running that day to day. But as I've said, it's opened so many doors for me. My strike rate with my contact is very, very low, but as much as I get on with my contacts and they're great friends, many of whom have taken to Salford over the years and they do love the sport, they probably wouldn't come if it wasn't for that relationship. I think one of the challenges we've got as a sport is how relevant it is in the current landscape. Our entire governing body needs to decide the structure of the club. There's so much competition for our disposable income. There's so much competition in terms of keeping our kids engaged, etc. There's so many reasons that they can be distracted. And we also need to find out whether Salford is relevant in the Rugby League and also whether our club is relevant in Salford. And I've spent 30 odd years as a season ticket holder constantly frustrated that irrespective of how well we've done, we've not managed to attract the crowds, we've not managed to attract some of the commercial revenue. So I spent really 5 or 6 months going to universities, going to local businesses, speaking to local media, really going to my professional network. And one thing I am hearing is that people do love the sport, they want to get involved. It's just how we can motivate them a little bit more. And I'm glad to say that even in the space of 2 or 3 weeks, I've met some high calibre professionals that, again, no interest in the club, but they're desperate, to see what they can do. And where we stand here geographically, we're on the edge of a big European city. Well, Salford is a big European city, but we've got our own media city. We should be having a formal agreement soon with 1 or 2 universities. That's not happened before. We're having a great relationship with our foundation. They do superb work in the community. That strategy's probably not been aligned as it should have been. Good relationship with the local authority and the stadium company. We're producing some marketing collateral and some genuine reasons to get involved for our sponsors. And very importantly, we've the first club in Rugby League to have a formal a structured dialogue with our supporters trust. 600 people in that supporters trust, die-hard fans, desperate to get involved, just want to know how. It's a scheme that's been piloted in Rugby League through us, and that's due to be signed off this week. And they're all individuals, they're all businesses, they all need the skills and services of experience of the people in this room. We as a club will amass significant amounts of commercial and consumer data, and compliantly we will be promoting the skills, services and experiences of the people in this room to that community. And we also, as one of our objectives, and this is very very important, the skills that I've mentioned before of our professional players: discipline, focus, being competitive, constantly pushing yourself, being industrious. They are traits that if we took into the boardrooms of Super League clubs or the governing body, or indeed our businesses generally, I wouldn't be sat here and talking about any issues with the game. So what I want to do with Club 13 is get people from the area. There's a huge professional services market in Manchester. We need to tap into that. We need to get people that are excited about this sport. From Bolton to Oldham, 2 million people. There's huge amounts of commercial activity. It's sports mad. We're the only Super League club in that area. We're really keen to work with Swinton, Oldham, Rochdale, Manchester Rangers, all the community clubs, to work in collaboration to raise the profile of the sport. Another objective is to promote some of the World Cup bids for some of the neighbouring towns. Manchester are very keen on hosting a World Cup game. The Rugby Football League have moved to Manchester. I sat at a Pro Manchester event last week, and he told me as a city how passionate they are about the sport. Where I live now, Bolton Lads and Girls Club, Bolton Mets, West Orton Lions. The council is looking to put rugby league on the map. That can only benefit us as a club. We work with them, so we're sat in the middle with 110 years worth of history. We're a great city. It's a fantastic stadium. We've got history with the community club, so we can just knit that together and bring in some of that commercial expertise that is on our doorstep. Then, in theory, we should have no rival in the sport. It's obviously easier to say that, and what we need to do is make sure that we as a collective in this room do all we can to put rugby league on the map. Maybe in a few years, we produce more Nathan McAvoys and he doesn't feel the need to move to Bradford. We can motivate Adrian Moore to sign for Salford, and we can sign Robbie before he's over the hill. On that point, I shall introduce Robbie to Paul.
Thank you.